A jaguar locks eyes with a capybara. Right there. No trees between them. No water. No herd. The jaguar is faster, heavier, built specifically to kill animals exactly like this one. Researchers confirmed it. Jaguars don't avoid capybaras. They prefer them. They kill capybaras more often than their numbers alone would predict. So this isn't about the jaguar not wanting the meal. It wants it. And it walks away anyway. Most people who see this moment ask the wrong question. They ask, why doesn't it attack? The real question is harder. Why would a predator walk away from food it could kill? And the answer changes everything you think you know about how hunting actually works. Here's what we get wrong about predators. We imagine them as machines: see prey, chase prey, kill prey. But that model has a flaw. It assumes the predator's only question is, can I kill it? Real predators ask something completely different. Is it worth it? Because a hunt isn't free. A failed chase doesn't just cost energy. It costs time. It reveals the predator's position to every other animal nearby. It burns reserves the predator may need later. And an injury. An injury doesn't just cost energy. A jaguar with a torn muscle doesn't lose one meal. It may lose the ability to hunt for weeks, which means starvation. So every single attack carries a hidden price, and a predator that ignores that price doesn't survive long enough to pass on its genes. The ones that survived, the ones we see today, are the ones that learn to ask, is this particular kill, in this particular moment, worth what it might cost me? Now here's where it gets interesting. Because while the jaguar is running that calculation, the capybara is running its own. And this is the part most wildlife documentaries skip entirely. Researchers studying capybaras in areas with active jaguar predation found something unexpected. Capybaras living alongside predators didn't just become more alert, they changed where they lived. Specifically, they foraged consistently closer to water than capybaras in areas where large predators had been absent for decades. That distinction matters more than it sounds. A capybara in open land has to outrun a jaguar. A capybara near water just has to reach it. The water doesn't make the capybara invincible. It makes the jaguar's calculation harder. Because now the predator isn't asking, can I catch it? It's asking, can I catch it before it reaches the water? And that's a much less certain answer. But here's the detail that stopped me completely when I first read it. In the same research, scientists played audio recordings of jaguar calls near capybara groups. Not a real jaguar, just a sound from a speaker. The capybaras didn't run. They didn't freeze. They moved, calmly, deliberately, closer to water. They heard a threat they couldn't see and responded not by panicking, but by improving their position. They weren't reacting to danger. They were managing it before it arrived. So now picture both animals in the same frame. The jaguar is measuring distance, terrain, the animal's alertness, the angle of approach, the proximity of water, the probability the attack succeeds before the capybara reaches safety. The capybara is measuring its distance to water, whether the predator is close enough to force a decision, whether it needs to move now or can wait. What looks like a calm wildlife moment is two simultaneous calculations running in real time. And the reason nothing happens isn't because both animals are relaxed. It's because both calculations currently point to the same conclusion. Not yet. The jaguar's math says, the risk is too high right now. The capybara's math says, I don't need to run yet. The moment either answer changes, a step closer, a shift in the wind, a turn of the head, the entire situation changes instantly. There's a term for what's happening between these two animals over generations, a co-evolutionary arms race. The jaguar gets better at identifying moments of vulnerability. The capybara gets better at eliminating them. The jaguar adapts. The capybara responds, back and forth, across thousands of generations. But here's the part that almost no one talks about. This arms race was never designed to produce a winner. The jaguar doesn't need to catch every capybara. It just needs to catch enough to survive and reproduce. The capybara doesn't need to escape every jaguar. It just needs to escape enough to do the same. Both species survive not by dominating each other, but by staying just effective enough at their side of the equation. The jaguar walking away isn't a failure. It's the system working exactly as it evolved to work. And this is where I want you to reframe something. We think of predation as a moment, the chase, the takedown, the kill. But the attack is almost the least complex part of the entire process. It's the final output of a calculation that started long before any movement occurred. The jaguar watching from distance, the capybara choosing where to graze, the invisible measurement of angles, distances, and probabilities happening between them constantly. The real hunt is everything that happens before the attack, which means when the jaguar walks away, it hasn't failed. It has completed one calculation and moved on to begin another. Because the most dangerous mistake a predator can make isn't missing a meal, it's taking a risk that wasn't worth taking. So the next time you see footage of a predator near its prey and nothing happens, don't ask why it isn't attacking. Ask what both animals are measuring. Ask which invisible variable is about to shift. Ask which small change, a sound, a shadow, a single step, will tip both calculations in the same direction at once, because that's where the real hunt is happening. Not in the chase, not in the kill, in the silence before either animal moves.